Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we will talk about a problem that I think is common to a lot of people, including me. Staying updated about what is happening around the world, I think is something that we will all like to do regularly, but unfortunately for a variety of reasons, we usually don't. If you recognize yourself in this word, I think you will find this video really useful. We will try to understand some of the main reasons and then find some tips that we can use on a regular basis to try to avoid it. So feel free to join me and add this little but really fundamental habit to your day-to-day life. So let's get started. The first reason is that we tend to easily lose focus for so many reasons. Nowadays with our smartphone or in general our devices, it's really easy to pay attention to the wrong things or just to lose time without even being conscious about it. It is way easier to look social media, to scroll social media for hours, expect to, for example, open a newspaper or staying updated with YouTube channel or podcast that talk about what is happening around the world. The second reason, and then we usually think about it as a sort of background activity. It is important to understand that we decide the priority that we want to give to every single action and activity that we want to do. For example, when we want to prepare for an exam, we tend to be really focused on what we are doing as it is right to do. But when we want to stay updated with the news, or we like, for example, scrolling a newspaper, we tend to really do other things while we're scrolling, and as I said, thinking about it as a background activities. The third reason is that we quit immediately when we find ourselves having trouble doing this action. But it's right to understand that it's completely normal and that this is a habit that requires a period when we have to adapt and to understand how it works. Of course, it's not as enjoyable, especially at the beginning, as, for example, watching a TV series, but we have to keep in mind the purpose that actually give ourselves the motivation to pursue with this goal. Fourth reason is that we convince ourselves that scanning the article or just even reading the title is enough, and of course that is not, and that is really a bad approach to this action, to this habit. And I believe that a main reason why we do that is that sometimes we like to stay updated just because we want to look good to our friends or we want something to talk about at the bar. But I believe personally that this is really not a good approach. We don't want to look good with the news, but we want actually genuinely to stay updated and to know what is happening around the world. Last reason is that sometimes we actually don't know where to find the news. So let's move on to some tips that you can start using right now to actually implement this habit on your day-to-day life. As I said before, I'm the first one that is trying to approach this thing properly, so step by step I will give you the solution that I find to apply these tips to my life. I really hope that you will do the same, you will stop the video and try to put in action every single step. The first thing is create a space around you that you know you will dedicate to this action. It really doesn't matter how big or cool it is, it's just to organize your minds and to clarify that when you're in that place, you are going to actually stay updated, read newspaper, or in general see what is happening around the world. I chose my desk and I try to make it as organized as possible, and I personally am a fan of the minimal philosophy, and so I try to remove all the possible things and make it as organized as I can. So stop the video for a second, decide a place that you want to dedicate to this habit and try to make it as comfortable as you can. The second tip is schedule a time in your calendar that you know you will dedicate to this action. Our goal here, of course, is not to start with 1 hour of deep focus. 10 to 15 minutes are already enough. And if you think about it, just with 1 article per day, you will finish the month with around 30 articles read. And I think that is already enough. So open your calendar app, whatever, Google Calendar, whatever you want to use, and schedule a time, 10 to 15 minutes, maybe if you want 20 minutes, where you can dedicate your precious time to this activity. I personally decided to do this in the morning after my meditation and before breakfast, because it's a particular time of day when I feel really fresh and I think I can I have the energy necessary to start to be a new habit. Third, find some reliable source, newspaper, YouTube channel, podcast. However, you don't want to spend too much time doing this action. At the beginning, just one newspaper or two are really enough. You don't want to procrastinate just trying to find the perfect newspaper, the perfect YouTube channel, or the perfect podcast. You just want to start. Pick up one YouTube channel, one podcast, and one newspaper, and with the time, you will find other sources. In my case, for example, talking about newspaper, I really enjoy reading New York Times article, or The Economist, or The Guardian. So these are my main three newspaper, and I don't know, maybe you can check out and see if you like them. Fourth, the most important one, start this task right now. The most effective advice that I can give you is actually start doing it. After you finish watching this video, pick an article on the web and start reading it from the beginning until the end. Really, that is not important what the article is about or what is the source. Really, what you want to do right now is start building this habit. So allocate your first 15 minutes after this video, and then you will take all the decision about your space, your time, when you want to schedule this habit regularly. But it's important that you start doing it right now. So friends, thanks for watching this video until the end. If you find it interesting, make sure to check out right here my last video. Remember to leave a comment down below if you have any suggestion for future video, or you just want to let me know that you start this journey with me. See you then.